Okay, so what if you could just download the blueprints to build a modern civilization? And I'm not just talking about a single gadget. I mean the whole shebang. Tractors, brick presses, wind turbines, you name it. Well, that's the radical idea behind a project called Open Source Ecology. And today, we're going to break down exactly how they're trying to pull it off.
So the whole story really kicks off right here with this quote. It's from the founder, Marcin Jakubowski, and you got to hear this. The man had a PhD in fusion energy. He was literally a rocket scientist, but he found himself in a situation where he felt completely and utterly useless when it came to solving basic, practical, real-world problems. And that feeling, that frustration, it led him to this huge realization about our world today. There's this massive gap, right? Between all of this specialized knowledge we have in our heads and the actual hands-on skills you need to just be self-sufficient. It's this clash between what we know and what we can actually do.
And this is where it all came to a head for him. So Marcin starts a farm out in Missouri and he buys a tractor. The tractor breaks. He pays a ton of money to get it fixed. It breaks again. And pretty soon, he's the one who's broke. He realized he was totally trapped in this consumer lifestyle, completely dependent on these complicated systems he couldn't control, couldn't fix, and couldn't afford. What he wanted was a maker culture, where you've got the power to build and fix and maintain your own stuff.
He figured out pretty quick that the tools he actually needed, well, they just didn't exist. He had this whole checklist in his head. He needed machines that were super robust, modular, so you could swap parts out easily. They had to be low-cost, built from local stuff, or even recycled steel. And, this is the big one, they had to have a lifetime design. In other words, the exact opposite of the planned obsolescence we're all so used to. So, faced with this massive problem, he didn't just go looking for a better tractor, nope. He came up with a solution that was so much bigger, something that could empower pretty much anyone, anywhere. He calls it the Global Village Construction Set, or the GVCS, and the name alone tells you just how ambitious this is. Think of it like a tech tree in a video game, but for real life. It's a whole ecosystem of open-source machines, specifically the 50 essential tools you'd need to build a small, sustainable community with modern comforts from the ground up. And that number 50 is so important. It's the anchor for the entire project. It takes this huge kind of overwhelming idea of building a civilization and just boils it down to a concrete, manageable list of tools. It makes it feel possible. And just look at the range of stuff on this list. Yeah, it starts with the tractor that kicked this whole thing off, but it also includes an industrial 3D printer and a circuit maker for tech, a bread oven for food, a compressed earth brick press for building houses, and even a 50-kilowatt wind turbine for power. It really is the complete package. So, the big question is, how in the world do you actually develop 50 different complex industrial machines? Well, the secret sauce is right there in the name. Open source. Their entire model is built on this powerful idea of working together. The engine driving this whole thing is radical collaboration. All the 3D designs, the schematics, the how-to videos, even the detailed budgets, it's all published for free on a public wiki for anyone to see. The idea is that anyone can download them, build the machines, and, this is the most important part, help make them better. A single file can literally become a civilization's starter kit. And this is not just one guy tinkering in a barn. You're looking at a powerful global network. You've got contributors from all over the world chipping in online, formal partnerships with universities, and these intense hands-on building sessions and design sprints at their headquarters, which they call Factory Farm. Okay, so all this sounds amazing in theory, right? But does it actually work in practice? Can a small group of people really build their own heavy-duty equipment and infrastructure? Well, let's look at the proof. The results are pretty staggering. Get this, using their own open-source brick press, they were able to make 5,000 bricks in a single day, just using the dirt right under their feet. And that tractor? They built a brand new one from scratch in just 6 days. This proves that you can achieve industrial-level productivity on a small DIY scale. It's possible. And what's really cool is they're not just creating blueprints, they're creating builders. OSC runs these workshops, these builder crash courses, that completely demystify the process of construction. They break it all down into these simple, learnable steps, from playing with the design on a computer all the way to putting up the walls and finishing the inside. It's all about empowering regular people with the skills to build their own homes. And here's why this is such a big deal. The total cost for all the materials for an 800-square-foot home built this way is somewhere between $25,000 and $50,000. I mean, come on. In today's world, that is an absolute game changer for making housing affordable and accessible. But, building cheap tractors and affordable houses, that's really just the beginning. The vision behind open source ecology is so much bigger than that. It's about fundamentally changing the rules of our entire economy.
This is the end game right here. They want to create an entirely open source economy. It's a model where collaboration, not competition, is what drives innovation forward. The goal is to get beyond what they call artificial scarcity, that whole idea that things have to be rare and expensive to be valuable, and instead create a genuine economy of abundance for everyone.
And they really do practice what they preach. This number to me says it all. A full 98% of all donations go directly to developing the projects. That's just an incredibly lean, efficient operation that is completely focused on the mission.
Now, if any of this is sparking something in you, there are a bunch of ways to get involved. You could go deep and join their Future Builders Academy, or get your hands dirty at one of those builder crash courses. You can even contribute your skills online from anywhere in the world, or of course help fund the development by donating.
And that really brings us to the final and maybe most important question that this whole project leaves us with. It kind of forces us to rethink what's possible, and who gets to be an innovator. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What could you build if the plans for everything you could ever need were just free,